Hello everyone, welcome back, and today I'm going to be going over my book collection. And sorry if I sound a little nasally, I've been sick the past couple of days, and I have water beside me, so, but as I said, we are going over my book collection as my last book collection video did so well, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book collection. You'll be seeing those again because I'm going over every single book that I have. A good, I'd say, half is going to be Stephen King. And every time you see a cut, it's going to be a new shelf that I bring out. So right now I got the top shelf of one of my two bookcases. And we are starting out with Stephen King, Roadwork, written as Richard Bachman. I have not read this one yet. I do plan on reading a good majority of his books pretty soon, so. Next up we got Firestarter. I did start to read this a little while ago, like last year, but I kind of gave up. Next we have The Dead Zone, and I'm going in backwards order of the years they were released for some of them. I wanted to put them all in order on my shelf, but there were some books I didn't have and some didn't fit on the shelf and whatnot, so. But here's The Dead Zone. A lot of these I got used, so I didn't even realize I was in there. A lot of these I got used, so a lot of them, like, I didn't pay that much. Like, as you can see, they're $4.99 for this one, like from thrift stores or, you know, used bookstores, things like that. Here's The Long Walk, also by Richard Bachman. And then a lot of them I bought new, like this one. Price here in Canada, sorry, but Canadian dollars is $12.99. Next up we have The Stand, his biggest and longest book. No, I did not read it, and the spine is cracked because I did this at one point and basically kind of broke the spine, so I taped it up. But this is over 1,400 pages, so it might take me a while to read this one. Then we have Night Shift, which I haven't read, but it has the Boogeyman story, which I saw the movie of, and it was pretty good, so I can't wait to read the story of it. Then we have The Shining, which I have not read. I started to a couple times, but I've seen the movie like probably 5 or 6 times. I found a copy of the Bachman books, mostly looking for Rage, because I have The Long Walk, Roadwork, and Running Man. I'm glad I found it. I found it for like $3, which is pretty good. And it's in great condition too. So, I'm not getting rid of this. Hell no. Next up, we got Salem's Lot. Then we have Carrie, and I have read this, but I'll probably read it again eventually. It's only about 300 pages, so. Sorry about that. Next up, we have The Dark Tower, I believe 6? I'm not too sure what VI is in Roman numerals. I can't remember. But it's the Song of Susanna. I have not read any of the Dark Tower books yet, so. Then we have The Talisman with Peter Straub. The Eyes of the Dragon, 35th Anniversary Edition. Pet Sematary. I did start to read this, but never got through it. Cycle of the Werewolf. Christine. Different Seasons, which is a short story collection that has Shawshank Redemption and Shawshank. It's another one that I'm thinking about that has Stand By Me, or as is known in the book, The Body. Here we have The Running Man. And then finally for this first shelf, Cujo. I have seen the movie, I think, twice. I do remember reading this back in high school. But other than that, I don't remember much other than watching the movie to deal with this book. Okay, I will be right back. Gonna take me a minute, but it'll only be like a second for you guys, so I'll be right back. Okay, on to shelf 2 now. We have Gerald's Game. I've seen the movie. I started to read this, got maybe halfway through, and then gave up a couple years ago. Needful Things. Four Past Midnight. This is the one that has, I'm pretty sure. Nope, totally wrong. Must be another one. Next up, The Dark Half. Then The Tommyknockers. Misery. It. This is the first King book that I remember reading, so I really count it as my first King book that I've read. Like that I remember the story. This is as you can see here, 1,153 pages of story. A heavy book, that's for sure. Then we have Skeleton Crew. I have not read any of the stories from this. Oh, sorry about that. Then we have Thinner, writing as Richard Bachman. Then we have Gwendy's Button Box. Later. Dr. Sleep. Colorado Kid. Insomnia. Dolores Claiborne. And then finally for shelf 2, Nightmares and Dreamscapes. I'll be back with shelf 3. Stay put. And I am back with shelf 3. We have Dreamcatcher. Green Mile. I have not read nor seen the movie for that. Just After Sunset. I got this one for Christmas, if you've seen my Christmas haul video. do my key. Well, next up, Cell. Then we have The Outsider. End of Watch. Finders Keepers. I started reading this in like last summer, but never got through it. Mr. Mercedes, on the other hand, I did get through. I do plan on reading it again though, so. Gwendy's Final Task. Another Richard Bachman book, Blaze. Lisi's Story. Another Richard Bachman, The Regulators. Excuse me. And finally, for shelf 3 of bookcase number 1, Wolves of the Kala, Dark Tower 5? Yeah, V is always 5. So, Black House with Peter Straub, sequel to The Talisman. Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. Everything's Eventual. Revival. Now, I know these sections are going kind of fast by Stephen King ones, but that's because I haven't really read most of them, but when it comes to my other authors and books that I've read, I will go a little bit deeper into why I like those said books. So, this section is done. I will see you in the next one. Okay, hi, I'm back now with my final selection of Stephen King books. First we have Holly, his newest, that came out in 2023. I got it for Christmas, so I have not read it yet. I do plan eventually. I do have a reading list log thing that I wrote down of all the books I want to read, so, and this is definitely one of them. Next up, we have Fairy Tale, which came out in 2022, which I did read, and I enjoyed it. I really did. I did enjoy it. It was good. Wouldn't read it again, but next we have Billy Summers. I did not read this yet. I will. I don't know if it'll be this year or not, but then we have If It Bleeds from 2020, I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check on that date. Yeah, 2020. Short story collection, I have not read it yet. I do plan on it eventually, so. Then we have The Institute. I also have not read, and this is 2019. Yeah, 2019. All these King books except for If It Bleeds and Billy Summers I got for Christmas. So, not this year, but throughout the years. Then we have Desperation. Then we have Joyland, the third and final in the Hard Case Crime series from him. Then we have from a Buick 8. Sorry about that. Then we have Bag of Bones. I do plan on reading every King book, just not all in one year. Obviously, that would be too much King. Here's Rose Matter. Here is Elevation. Little short story, probably bang out in an hour or two. Then we have Under the Dome. Have not read this yet. It is another 1,000-page book, so might take me a while to get to it. And then I have the Dark Tower, the first 4 books, and I will take them out to show you separately. Starting with number 1, The Gunslinger. And these are all in pretty good condition too. Dark Tower 2, Drawing of the Three. Dark Tower 3, The Wastelands. And then Dark Tower 4, Wizard and Glass. Also, before we close out the Stephen King segment, I also have 11/22/63 that I am currently reading. On page 154 here. Anyway, that's the Stephen King portion of this video, and I'll come back to you with more books. Okay, now we are moving on to the Diary of Wimpy Kid section. Yes, I know I already did a separate video on this, but like I said in the beginning, I'm showing all my books, so. And since then, I have read all of them. All 18 plus the 3 Rowley spinoffs, plus the 2 movie diaries. So, my opinions on the movie diaries, they're alright. Shows you how to make a movie, but you can also probably go to YouTube or Google and find out how. Like, say you wanted to know how they made Transformers or Godzilla or something like that, or even an animated like Cars. You could probably look that up on Google. But here's the next chapter one for the long haul. Here is the original movie diary. Then we have the do-it-yourself book. And what it said, I read all of them, all but the do-it-yourself and these new Disney Plus reprint covers, because they're the same exact stories. So, but this is the Cabin Fever Disney Plus cover. Here's the Roger Cruel's Disney Plus cover. Here is the original Disney Plus cover. Here is Riley Jefferson's Awesome Spooky Stories. I enjoyed this one. I really did. The stories were pretty good, actually, and short. Actually, I read it in like one night, which is crazy to think about, considering it's 200 pages and there's like 10 stories or more. So now we have Riley Jefferson's Awesome Friendly Adventure. This one was actually pretty good too. I read it in like 2 days, I think. It was over the weekend and I was working, so I really didn't have much time. Then we have Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid. This one was pretty good too. I forgot how how good it was, actually. Then we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid No Brainer, the latest one. Book 19 did get revealed, the title and the cover, and it is actually, I like the cover. If I can, I will insert a picture of the cover at the end of the video, or at the end of this section, sorry, just so you know what it looks like, and I will try to remind myself to do that. But No Brainer was actually, I found it good, actually. For my first time reading it, I kind of enjoyed it. Next up is Diaper Overload, and this year, well, this year was my first time reading it. I enjoyed it. I know people said they find it the second best after Roger Rules and or Dog Days, which I can agree with. I can. Then we have Big Shot. I've seen and heard people say that they enjoy this one too. I wasn't really the biggest fan, as I'm not really into sports, but it was pretty cool to see how it would play out for Greg. Next up, we got Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Deep End, book 15. It wasn't as bad as I remembered it being, but it's also not that good. Since book 9, and every 3 books up until 18 were vacation books. So, I don't know. I didn't really like it. Here is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Wrecking Ball. I kind of enjoyed this one. I did. It wasn't bad. Next up, we have The Meltdown, one of the best of the newer books. And when I say newer, I mean 12 to now. Next up, we have The Getaway. Honestly, I found this one better than Deep End and Long Haul. Here we have Double Down. Next up, we have Old School. Double Down, I enjoyed. Old School is pretty good. Long Haul, in my opinion, sorry about that. In my opinion, the worst of the vacation books. The movie was awful. I'm agreeing with everyone there. The movie was horrible. Next up, we have Hard Luck. Pretty good, actually. Good ending conclusion to The Third Wheel and Raleigh and his girlfriend's story in The Third Wheel. Speaking of The Third Wheel, I enjoyed it. Could have been a little bit better, but... Next up, we have Cabin Fever. Pretty good. Again, could have been better, though. Actually, no. Cabin Fever is actually probably one of the best of the older, and older, I mean up until, I'm going to say, to The Long Haul. Then we have Ugly Truth. Pretty good. There was some funny parts in the book. I enjoyed it. Sorry about that. Now, Dog Days is probably the second best, if not the best, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this one. Then we got Last Straw. Pretty good. Ties up, not really ties up anything, but has a good story to it in a way. Then we have Roger Rules. Pretty good. Probably the best, in my opinion. The movie was the best out of the 4 movies. Not competing with any other film. I'm agreeing with everyone that the movie was the best. The animated one, on the other hand, it was alright. And then finally, for the Wimpy Kid, we got the original, the one that started it all, Diary of Wimpy Kid. And back in the day, it was $6.99 in the US. I don't know what that is in Canada, but this is also an original paperback print. So, but it's a good start to the series. If you want to get into the series, obviously, in my opinion, you should start with the first one here. But I'm going to put these away and I'll grab out my next shelf. I'll be right back. Hello everyone, and I am back with shelf numero dos. We have Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Hunger Games novel. I have not read this one yet. I am in the midst of reading Catching Fire, so I'm excited to get to this one. Next up we got Mockingjay. I will probably read this after, what's it called? Catching Fire, sorry. My friend just texted me, so caught me off guard. And here's Catching Fire. I am 32 pages in. Probably gonna read some more today. And here's the first Hunger Games. This one is beaten up. I've had it for a while, so. Then we have Stephen King on writing Memoir of the Craft. I have not read this yet. Hopefully soon. Then we have I Am Restored by Lecrae, one of my favorite Christian rappers. How I Lost My Religion But Found My Faith. Excited to read this. And then we have The Ghost Stories of Nova Scotia. If you know Nova Scotia, or if you're from there, you probably know a lot about y'all's ghost stories. I have no idea, as I am in New Brunswick. So, next up we have The Ex-Husband by Karen Hamilton. I'm excited to read this. Never read any of her works, so should be interesting. Then we have James Patterson, Three Women Disappear. I like James Patterson. His chapters are short. Like, after you get through the intros, like there's chapter 1. And there's chapter 2 literally 3 pages later. Like, his chapters are really, really short. That's what I like about his writing. Then we have Before You Go by James Preller. This, I enjoyed this one. I'm probably going to read it again. It was good. I don't remember much from it, so that's why I want to read it again. Next up, we have The Conscience Guide to Hip Hop. Music, a fresh look at the art of hip hop from old school beats, to freestyle raps by Paul Edwards. I got this from, $7, so. Then we have Every Last Fear by Alex Finlay. I do have his second novel, The Night Shift, and I did read that in about 4 days. I gave it to my dad to read because I enjoyed it, so I feel like he would too. But I haven't read this one yet. This is his debut novel. And he has another one out, and he has one coming out this year that I'm excited to pick up, so. Then we have The President Is Missing, Patterson and Bill Clinton. Then we have The Rainmaker, John Grisham. My dad enjoyed this book. He recommended it to me. I found it for like $4. So I was happy to pick it up. And then the last in this segment, Matthew Perry, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. I got this for Christmas. I read it maybe a week. I enjoyed it so much. Anyone who loves Friends or Matthew Perry's work, you'll probably enjoy this memoir. It was so good. Anyways, I'll be back with my third and final shelf of of bookcase number 2. See you in a second. Okay, so I'm back here and I have James Patterson's Women's Murder Club series. This is 23rd Midnight. 24 will come out this year. I've only read up to about book 9, so yeah, all these other ones I have not read yet, but I will. Excuse me. I will eventually, so. Sorry about that. Then we have 22 Seconds. "21st Birthday." 20th Victim. 19th Christmas. 18th Abduction. 17th Suspect. Oop, sorry about that. And yes, that is some baby pictures of me. Just gonna turn that around. Then we have Medical Examiner. This is like 16 and a half. That's what it is on Wikipedia and other sites that list these books in order. So then we have 16, 16th Seduction. Then we have The Trial. This would be 15 and a half or 15.5. Then we have 15 here with 15th Affair. I don't know how he keeps coming up with stories for the same character for 23 now. This year to be 24 books. But here is 14th Deadly Sin. Then we have Unlucky 13. Twelfth of Never. The 11th Hour. Tenth Anniversary. Ninth Judgment. I've gone maybe halfway through, so I will read this, and I put on my list like up to book 14, I'm pretty sure, for this series. So then we have Eighth Confession. I have really enjoyed this one. Probably one of my favorites in the series so far. Then we have Seventh Heaven. Pretty good, in my opinion. Sixth Target. Sorry. Move my stand. Fifth Horseman. This one was pretty good. 4th of July. Again, another good one. Third Degree. Probably one of the shortest. That's not the little bookshop versions. Second Chance. And then the book that started it all here, First to Die. Pretty good, actually. I enjoyed this one. Very much so. And I will be back with my third, or well, like my final shelf slash like places that I put my books. So okay, I am back with my final stack of books here. Next up we have The Perfect Girlfriend, Karen Hamilton. I have not read this yet. Do plan it on it eventually. Steel, James Patterson. Seems like it'll be good. Nine Lives, Peter Swanson. This one I have read, and it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. Roy Johansson, Killer View, forward by his mother, Iris. I have not read this yet. Eventually. Next up we have Will, by Will Smith, his memoir. Can't wait to read this. I do still love the guy after what he did at the Oscars, but not everyone can. Here's Not Afraid, The Evolution of Eminem by Anthony Bozza. Can't wait to read this. Print is pretty big, so I can probably get through it in a couple days. Then we have Run, Rose, Run with James Patterson and Dolly Parton. And there is also an album available to run with the book if you want. Have not read it yet. I do plan on it though. Next up we have S.E. Hinton, The Outsiders. I remember reading this in English in like grade 9. So. Charles Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities. Have not read a lot of classics, especially from 1859. Jeez. Wuthering Heights. Have not read this either. What year did this first come out? Clearly not 1992. That's when this version was published, though. When did this come out? Doesn't say. Huh. And then Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And this version was either 93 or 99. Not when the book came out, though. I want to know when it came out. Doesn't say. I'll have to look it up. Then we have The Untold Story of Tim Horton, the man who created a Canadian empire. I am reading this. Not right now, but I will. One, I'm Canadian. Two, Tim Hortons is better than Dunkin' Donuts. Hate to disappoint you Americans, but they are. Then we have Classified, Off the Beaten Path. This guy I have met a couple of times. I love his music. It's awesome. Can't wait to read this. I got it for $8. Excuse me. Sorry. Next we have Overcome, Replacing the Lies that Hold Us Down with the Truths That Set Us Free by Clayton King. And I actually met him, got it signed. Then we have I Still Believe, Jeremy Camp, a memoir. This is based on his life. There's also a movie. And the movie is actually pretty good. I would recommend it if you haven't seen it yet and if you're a fan of Jeremy Camp. Then we have The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. It's not bad. I got maybe halfway through it. I will read it again though. My spine is a little faded because of the sun where it's sitting on my shelf, but other than that, nothing to it. Then we have Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis, the same guy who wrote the Chronicles of Narnia series. not read it yet. Do plan on it though. Then we have Who Are You Following by Sadie Robertson Huff. Pursuing Jesus in a Social Media Obsessed World. I've heard her speak live, and she was good. Next up, we have Rick Mercer, Final Report, Greatest Ranch from all 15 seasons, plus new reflections, recollections, and revelations. If you don't know Rick Mercer, well, then you're not Canadian. Simple as that. And then the two final books, How to Eat Fried Worms. The movie's good. I have not read this little book yet. Probably bang it out in an hour. And then finally, The Railways of New Brunswick, A History. I love railways. I love trains. So, and I did start to read this a little bit, but I'm going to get back into it more. I do actually have more books, but they're not on my shelf. I will dig them out in a second. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back with my final load of books. These are like activities / life lesson, mental health type books. First up, we have Minecraft, the Mob Spotter Encyclopedia, the ultimate guide to Minecraft mobs. I got this for my sister for Christmas. Can't wait to look it over. Then we have Living the Good Life, Health and Success for You in Canada. This is the guy who invented Good Life Fitness. Or, opened it. Haven't read it yet, but. Then we have The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. Not read this yet. The Rap Yearbook. Excited to go through this. Then we have Magic Treehouse 42, Good Night for Ghosts. This one was from my grandparents, I think birthday or Christmas. I got it from them 2009 there. So I'm not getting rid of this one. Then we have Minecraft Beginner's Handbook. Minecraft Redstone Handbook. Minecraft Combat Handbook. And my favorite, the Minecraft Construction Handbook. Now moving on, we have the World's Greatest Cars. Sorry, this is a big boy here. Ugh. And heavy. Then we have What Have I Learned? All these things from famous people: Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chevy Chase, Sean Penn, Quincy Jones, Danny DeVito, Robert De Niro, Kevin Bacon, Woody Allen, Andre 3 Stacks or 3K, and Amy Schumer. For some reason, Joe Biden, Ethan Hawke, Robert Duvall, William Dafoe, Kevin Costner, Pele, Sting, Bush. Then we have Uncle John's Actual and Factual Bathroom Reader. I guess for when you're on the toilet for 2 hours after eating that Taco Bell, you would bring this in there and read it while your insides are being flushed away. And then we have Canada 360. And this is all my books. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.